Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Growth Moments. The title of my little talk with you today is simply Be Thankful. Be thankful. Thankfulness is a powerful emotion that energizes us to be able to not only succeed ourselves, but to help others. So here's the question I want to ask you today. When was the last time you paused, even for a few minutes, and ask yourself, what am I thankful for today? I want to tell you a really short story. Over in Italy during the COVID pandemic, there was a 93-year-old man who got the virus. And he became very ill. He wound up in the hospital, was actually on a ventilator for a number of days. But the doctors were able to help him. They finally got him off the ventilator and he began to get better. Well, when it came time for him to be discharged from the hospital, the doctors came in and spoke with him and said, do you realize that for the days that you were on the ventilator, there's a charge of 500 euros a day that you need to pay for being on the ventilator? And the old man began to cry. And the doctors thought initially it was because of the enormous amount of money that he owed for being on the ventilator. But the old man said, no, that's not it. He said, I have the money. I can afford to pay for the ventilator. But when I realized there was a charge for the ventilator that was doing nothing more than helping me breathe, I realized that for the last 93 years, I've been breathing God's air, the air that He gave us on this planet. And number one, I never received a bill from Him for that. But more importantly, I never even thanked Him for it. Now, being the nerd that I am, I went back and I thought, well, what would it have really cost him if God had sent him a bill? 500 euros a day, 365 days a year for 93 years was almost 17 million euros. And yet, he breathed that air for 93 years for free. And he finally realized that he needed to be thankful to God for what God had given him. I want to make three really quick points with you today. The first is that thankfulness releases endorphins, chemicals that make us happy, and they make us feel good. And that becomes one of the foundational parts of living a joyful life. If you're thankful, you can build on that to be joyful and positive. The second thing is that being thankful not only just for what we have, but for others in our lives and the things that they do for us makes us realize that we're loved and we're needed. And finally, being thankful lets us know that we're not alone, that God is here and that He loves us and that He's given us this whole beautiful world to be able to enjoy. I have a book that I use. It's called the Kairos Prayer Journal. And part of that journal is every day reading scripture, doing some prayers, memorizing scripture, things like that. But there's a section of the journal that says, write down 3 things that you're thankful for today. And I've been doing that for a while, and I find that it really energizes me when I stop and think about the basic things that I'm thankful for, things that I would normally take for granted. Stop and think about it. Are you thankful that you woke up today? Are you thankful that when you walked outside, the sun hits your face and warms your body? Are you thankful for so many of the little things that happen in your life that you just take for granted and just assume that they're automatically going to happen? Stop and think about what would happen if they didn't. What would happen if you didn't wake up tomorrow morning? What would happen if the sun never shone again? How would that impact you? So be thankful. Be thankful. I'm going to ask you to do something for me. Will you take out a clean sheet of paper and for the next 7 days, every morning when you get up, just take a moment and write down 3 things that you're thankful for. And do that for an entire week. At the end of that week, I'd like you to email that list to me just email me, Gary@GaryLSmith.com, with just the list of the things that you're thankful for. And then I want you to answer one simple question for me in that email. How has it changed you? Do you feel different? Has it changed your life at all? I highly recommend it. This is Gary Smith. God bless you today. Go and live your life on purpose, and I'll see you right here next time on Growth Moments.